Hey guys, Dalek44 here. I need no introduction, but I got one anyway. We all know about secret agents, don't we?
Secret agents have become one of the most popular things to show on TV, on the big screen, and even video games. And many franchises, including James Bond and The Kingsman, have done this on the big screen. Even Stromberg from Homestar Runner has done it with his Danger-esque films and video games.
While James Bond gets popular with his endless amount of movies, there's one secret agent that a lot of people forget about. And that is Johnny English.
Queen of country, safe and sound, with villains 6 feet underground, and no one knows, cause no one's found any trace of a man for all seasons. Walks him and leaves him alone, so alone.
Johnny English is a 2003 British spy comedy film parodying the James Bond secret agent gene, infused with comedy style to Rowan Atkinson's Mr. Bean character.
And with the third installment of the franchise on the way, how does the first installment of the franchise hold up today? Well, let's have a look.
The film centres around a kind-hearted but inept MI7 agent, Johnny English, played by Rowan Atkinson, who has dreams of being their most trusted employee. After Agent 1 dies in a submarine accident unknowingly caused by English, the remaining agents go to his funeral and all die in an explosion. And English is assigned to follow a plot to steal the crown jewels, which are on display at the Tower of London. At the display, English is head of security and meets the mysterious Lorna Campbell. The power is cut and the jewels are stolen. During the chaos, English accidentally knocks out the Jeopardy head of security and pretends to fight an assailant out of sight. He later makes up a false description of the assailant to MI7 head Pegasus. English and his assistant, Angus Bob, played by Ben Miller, find the jewels were removed via a hole dug beneath the display case. The two follow a tunnel, confronting two thieves, Dieter Klein and Klaus Vendetta. The two escape in a hearse, with English trying to pursue them, but he mistakes another hearse for the escape vehicle, gate crashing the funeral until Bob comes to his aid, pretending English is an escaped mental patient. English connects the thieves to the sponsor of the jewel's resurrection, Pascal Sauvage, played by John Malkovich, a Frenchman who owns many prisons. Pegasus finds the claims of his involvement absurd and warns English not to involve Sauvage. In the car park, English and Bob are attacked by Vendetta, but are unharmed. Disobeying Pegasus's orders, Johnny goes on a mission with his sidekick Bob, and the help of the mysterious Lorna, to find out what Pascal Sauvage's plans are, and to expose his plans to MI7, Pegasus, and the rest of England.
So is the first Johnny English movie still as funny as I remember it? Yes. Yes, it is. Very funny.
The film is your basic secret agent and spy film, but with a hint of comedy in it provided by the great Rowan Atkinson.
Most people wouldn't expect a movie about spies and secret agents to be a comedy, but this movie changed all that, making a spy comedy.
A very interesting thing I found out about this movie is the fact that it was based on a series of commercials Rowan Atkinson did for the Barclaycard Company.
Kingfish Barclaycard, sir.
His Barclaycard? This man's in no state to go shopping.
No, I'm going to phone him up for medical advice, sir.
You're going to phone Barclaycard for medical advice?
Barclaycard International Rescue, sir. They can send doctors and...
We're wasting time here, Boff. This man has a serious case of snakebite, and there's only one thing that's going to save him. I'm going to have to locate the wound and suck out the poison.
Then years later, he took the Atlas and decided to make him into a maxi movie with the help of the directors and writers.
I think better phone Barclaycard, Boff. I'm not sure I've got there.
But you can't have a spy comedy movie without a series of great characters to hold the story up. And this movie doesn't disappoint. There's Johnny English, played by Rowan Atkinson, who is a kind-hearted but inept and dim-witted secret agent who was first in charge of the car park for MI7, but then later became a secret agent when all the other agents died in an explosion at Agent 1's funeral. English can be quite tense in situations, but also very overconfident in what he's doing. Even though he means really well for the agency, he does end up cocking everything he does up. but he manages to get his man in the end. And Rowan plays the character really well. Before this movie was released, Rowan's made himself famous for playing a number of hilarious and memorable characters, including Mr. Bean, Blackadder, Inspector Fowler from the Thin Blue Line, and Zazu from The Lion King, to name a few. And among all of those, Johnny English is another one of his finest performances and characters. I kind of see this character as a mixture of Blackadder's charm and Mr. Bean's dim-wittedness. A great combination of the two, as well as Rowan getting to show off some of his physical performance, as he does.
Rowan Atkinson is best known for those various roles that I pointed out before, and he's also well known for physical performance and slapstick comedy. And this movie gets him the chance to show off all of those things.
There's his partner, Angus Bob, played by Ben Miller, the sensible man in the team who loves some gadgets and whatnot. What I love about this character is that when Johnny gets into trouble, Bob always finds a way to help him out of the trouble. Like when he gatecrashes a funeral and then Bob pretends that he's a doctor from the Lunatic Response Unit and that English is a patient named Gunter.
Bob is the perfect sidekick to be alongside Johnny English because he's the sensible one and the one with more common sense than Johnny. And we all know this thing where the sidekicks are smarter than the actual leaders, and we've seen that before. But the chemistry between Rowan Atkinson and Ben Miller works really well in this movie.
Even though Bob is clearly more intelligent than Johnny is, he'll always stick by his side no matter what. Lorna Campbell is an Interpol agent who was sent to find out Pascal Sauvage's wicked plots. But before we find out what exactly she's up to, there's a little bit of suspicion surrounding her. Even Johnny thinks that she might have been involved with the stealing of the jewels, until we find out that she was really working for Interpol the whole time. And even though she sees Johnny for the dimwit that he is, she also sees beyond it, as she sees a man who's willing to do whatever it takes to protect his country. And the two end up sharing a romance with each other. Other characters include Pegasus, played by Tim Bidget-Smith, the leader of MI7, who will stand no nonsense with anything, even English's antics. He can be very strict when it comes to MI7 protocols, and of course doesn't believe English's suspicions of Sauvage being behind the stealing of the crown jewels. Dieter Klein and Klaus Vendetta are your basic evil henchmen that get away from Johnny English whenever he's on pursuit with them. And they're great henchmen for the main villain in my opinion. And of course we have Pascal Edward Sauvage, played by John Malkovich, the main antagonist of the movie. Sauvage is a French businessman who owns many prisons and has built loads of them in England as well. And he stole the crown jewels because he was a distant descendant of James II and wanted to claim his rightful place as King of England after it was stolen from his family centuries ago.
You know, I think I'd rather have my bottom impaled on a giant cactus than exchange pleasantries with that jumped-up Frenchman. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing the French should be allowed to host is an invasion.
And John Malkovich does a fantastic job of bringing this deranged Frenchman to life, bringing off the charming side of the character, as well as the evil side of him, and the insane side of him too.
John Malkovich has made a reputation for himself for playing nutty characters like in the Red films, and his role in Johnny English is no exception.
This was the first time I ever saw Malkovich as a character in a movie, and I find this a great introduction to the actor if you've never seen him before.
Shall I try it on? Yes? No? Maybe?
Even though this movie is a comedy, it doesn't waste time in telling a good story, and this is a really good story mixed in with comedy. One of my favourite moments is when Johnny gatecrashes a funeral thinking that it's the criminals who stole the crown jewels, and I especially love this line from him.
Oh, look. Real tears. Did it get extra for that?
How can you not crack up at that every time you hear it? Another memorable moment is when he lands on the hospital, confusing it to be Sauvage's office. And also another great line is this.
My God, what have they done to you? They've taken some of my blood. Bastards.
I think that's what pretty much everyone has ever said about doctors who take their bloods for blood tests. Another hilarious moment is when Johnny gives a false description of the assailants that he made up during the night at the Tower of London when the jewels were stolen. And it has a hilarious payoff at the end, which I won't dare give away. And the one scene that had me on the floor the most the first time I went to see this in the cinema was when he blew up a speed camera. That's just something that I think everybody on the roads wish they could do. Another great running gag throughout the film is Johnny's gun going wrong a number of occasions, like being assembled with missing parts, or some parts fallen off while he's trying to use it. And who the hell could ever forget this side-splitting quote?
Look, pull yourself together, it's only a bit of poo.
I love that line.
And there were just so many other hilarious moments in this movie that I could go on talking about them all day. But I think you'd honestly be better off to see them for yourself. You'll get loads of laughs out of it. Even though the movie had mixed reviews when it was released, it did get a lot of good sales in the VHS and DVD market. Not to mention the fact that it was so popular that it ended up getting a sequel in 2011, and is soon to get another sequel in October 2018. That just shows how popular Johnny English really is.
So even to this day, Johnny English still holds up as a great spy comedy, and its sequel holds up as a great sequel to the spy comedy, and we can only wait and see what the third installment will be like.
In my mind, Johnny English is one of the funniest spy comedies I've ever seen, and one of Rowan Atkinson's best. It has a lot of great action scenes that you'd expect from spy films, and it's got a lot of comedy as you'd expect in a Rowan Atkinson film. And if you haven't seen this masterpiece of comedy yet, then I'd highly recommend checking it out if you're into secret agents and spies and comedy. And Rowan Atkinson, of course. If you haven't seen this movie yet, go check it out. You won't be disappointed with the comedy that Rowan Atkinson provides as Johnny English.
I'm Dalek44, and I'll see you next time, folks.
And you and I wouldn't have a clue who's doing what, why, when, and who. Up the creek with no canoe. Watch out for the man for all seasons. Bob Summerlee.